Hey you guys, what's up? I have another battle for you using the Empoleon deck that I was messing with in the previous video. This time, however, I've changed it up a little bit in that I'm going just back to Smeargle and Virizion as the bench kind of consistency boosting Pokemon. Just because they have more hit points. They're not vulnerable to Darkrai getting two bench sniped, like two shotted on the bench. And it just kind of, it's equal consistency, and admittedly the plus or minus thing was kind of gimmicky. But anyways, we see I am opening up Smeargle Piplup against a lone Mewtwo, which isn't, a horrible situation, and he drops Dark Energy, which one takes the early game pressure off of me. I know he's not going to be X-Balling me turn one, and two means that he is playing probably DMT, a Darkrai Mewtwo Tornadus EX variant. It's one of the most popular decks in the format right now. It's not really surprised to see this. It is a little surprising, however, to see that he junk arms away a Shaman so early, because Shaman drops can be so effective in this game. However, he does junk arm away Juniper for random receiver, which kind of seemed confusing, but at the same time, it's a good play in terms of him not being able to let me portrait, except then he plays the random receiver. So this is the part where he kind of lost me, and this kind of suggested to me that maybe he's not the most familiar of players and stuff. But anyways, he's going to go through a ton of cards here and finally hit an Oaks. So now I know that he has an Oaks in hand, which is pretty nice for me. Right now I have a decent hand myself, to be honest. I have the Collector for turn one and the Prinplup and the Pont. I could communicate out and get something more valuable. But he's just going to Eviolite. I'm going to draw for turn. And I should play the Collector here, and I do, thankfully. I haven't seen this game in a while, admittedly. But no reason to grab anything other than Piplups unless one is prized. None are. So I'm just going to go straight Piplups. And let's see if I do anything about the communication. I go straight for the Portrait, which probably a good play. There's no real reason to use the communication. It might end up costing me a turn 2 Empoleon. And so I see the Pont, which I already knew he had, and I probably would have, at that stage in the game, I would have done the same thing regardless. And I ended up hitting a pretty nice hand. I don't know what to do with the Water Energy, however. And it turns out if I had played the communication, I might be in a little bit better of a spot. But I'm just gonna be forced to pass here. And one thing I didn't really think about was how risky just the Water Energy on him is. However, he's going to attach the Dark Energy as opposed to a DCE. He could have gone for the DCE and then just knocked out Smeargle, and I'd be, trailing from behind, which is expected against Darkrai when you're playing Empoleon. Darkrai is just a faster deck. To be honest, it's probably a better deck too, just in just about every way. But Empoleon's fun. I guess Empoleon's better against N. But so he's gonna use yet another Ultra Ball, or a discard card. Really, he didn't use Ultra Ball before, but it's similar to the Junk Arm play where he gets rid of the Juniper. I believe he also got rid of, oh gosh, I can't remember the other card he got rid of. Oh, Enhanced Hammer, because it's not going to come into play. I don't run any special. And he's going to Portrait his way into a Collector, so not a real big deal. In fact, this might be a good thing to happen against a newer player. He's going to be more likely to kind of fall for it. He might not even know what Empoleon does, but he might, just see an opportunity to fill his bench. And even though he knows that Empoleon's attack command increases my damage output, he's just going to want to do it anyways. And he goes for 2 Sableye, 1 goes into his hand, and so this tells me he's kind of playing the Hammers version with just Mewtwo thrown in. And he's going to pass. I'm going to evolve into Prinplup, and I believe I Collector here just to thin out my deck. It also gives me fodder for Diving Draw, because I know I normally don't need that many basics. And I just grabbed 2. I don't like that play as much. I wish I'd grabbed a third. I'm going to Portrait again, and see he's got a handful of nothing. And I'm just going to pass. I'm kind of short on energy. As you can see, I've only dropped 1. I do run 10, which is a good amount, but a little frustrating. And he's going to end us both, which I already had the Empoleon for the next turn, so hopefully I'll be able to keep it. And actually, I get the rare candy too, so this is going to be even easier for me to set up Empoleons. I'm actually going to be able to set up quite a few now. And by that I mean 2. That was beautiful narrating. Anyways, sorry. Get a little distracted. It's been a long day at work and all that stuff. But we're going to get through this game. So he's going to Ultra Ball away for something. It turns out to be another Mewtwo, which Mewtwo against Empoleon isn't necessarily the most fantastic of cards, simply because I only put 1 energy on myself, and it just doesn't seem that great. He's gonna try and Dark Patch to his active, however, he can't do that, so he's gonna Dark Patch to Darkrai, and that's gonna cost him his kind of energy attachments, and not really thinking about where he has to have energy is really gonna hurt him in this game, as you're gonna see. If he had been thinking and attached directly to the to the Smeargle and then Dark Patch to something, then he could have had KO. He couldn't have Dark Patched to Mewtwo. He also got rid of his Shaman, which is clearly hurting him. I'm just going to evolve into Empoleon, and I'm also going to communicate out the Smeargle for another Empoleon to use with the candy. At that point, I'm going to be able to just Juniper away, and I choose to Juniper over Diving Draw just so I can have the 2 Diving Draws later, and presumably set up multiple Empoleons this turn, even more. It'd be nice to get a 3rd one out there. Even all 4 would be a lot to ask for, but at the same time it would be really game breaking. So I think I'm going to Diving Draw for the first time here. I discard a Water, knowing I have the Super Rod in hand, and I hit a Virizion. So that's just about as good as things get. I'm going to communicate back out Virizion, and I've got the other candy. I know I have at least 1. It turns out both Empoleons are prized. So that's kind of one of those things you have to be aware of. I clearly wasn't here. I wasn't really paying attention to that, and it's kind of wasteful of resources, but at the same time getting up the Prinplup isn't bad, because it kind of protects me a little bit, gives me somewhat of a cushion against the Darkrai snipes. And I'm going to take my first prize here, which is actually the first prize of the game. Really, this game illustrates that his just kind of not conserving his energy and paying attention to how you attach and where you attach. Definitely costs him at least 1 turn of attacking. And he gets a 4th energy on this Mewtwo, which personally I don't understand. You're not hitting for that much more, but it turns out he's gonna catcher me out into my Prinplup, and this is one of the things I've noticed. When you drop down the Prinplup, people go for that way more often than just about anything, even in Empoleon. It's kind of a funny situation. But seems to be some confusion. I can't read that from here. Oh, right, he wanted to do 30 to a Piplup, but he wasn't using Darkrai. Okay. So I'm going to Super Rod back for the 1/1 line and a Water Energy, just because, I want to get out that 4 Empoleons, and also the Prinplup again, kind of protects you against Darkrai. They also distract from Empoleons, which is kind of nice, so you have something, that's not your main attacker taking damage. And I feel like that's a mistake people make. You should go for Piplup in the early game, but once your opponent has out Empoleons, you're just kind of assuming, that they're going to be able to get out more, and you're just wanting to stop them from getting out more, but they might not be able to. And, I hit the Piplup again, so I'm just going to bench him. And from here, I'm going to have to Mass Attack, and I'm Mass Attacking for 90, so him benching all these Pokemon has really played to my advantage, as well as how he's attached to energy. It's really given me, I guess I have board control. Yeah, I'd say I have board control with the 2 stage 2s. He does have the Mewtwo with a bunch of energy, but at the same time, it's not really doing all that much for him. The other thing is that the 2 Empoleons are priced, so that's kind of been hurting me a little bit, but not too much. You notice that I'm not diving drawing now, just because there's no need to draw through my deck at this point in time with how set up I am, unless I have those 2 Empoleon in my deck, but they're prized, so just going to kind of have to deal with that. The other thing I could try and fish out for, however, is the max potions, and just kind of try and make sure that he can't really do any damage to me. You know, keep damage on my Pokemon. He's gonna Pont here, but at this point I don't see it really worth it. I don't really want to discard any of those cards. I don't want to discard too many water, just because, you know, if you're trying to max potion, you're discarding a bunch of water energy. Those two things in tandem probably aren't a good idea. Even with the Super Rod, I guess. I've already played one, so I gotta be conservative with it. But he's gonna catcher me out into a bench Pokemon. I assume he's gonna pick a Piplup. It makes the most sense to me. He could also try and go for the other Empoleon and kind of bluff if I don't have an energy. But he's just going to take the prize. And so he now takes the lead in the prize exchange. However, I believe there are enough Pokemon on the field. He's got 5 out there, and I have 5. So even with Eviolite, I can already do 80 damage. And I have the Smeargle in hand to do that. And I don't even attach the water. No, I thought I was going to attack there. Okay. So I Diving Draw for a first time. And I'm a Super Rod again, which I guess at this point I know I'm taking 2 prizes and I'm only going to need 3 more prizes. I already have, 2 Empoleon in the prizes that I know I'm going to be probably hitting soon. I guess it's a good time to play that second Super Rod. I'm also going to attack command without attaching, which I guess doesn't matter too much when you only need 1 energy to attack. And I do hit an Empoleon, which is going to be really nice, having 3 on the field. So now he should promote out a Darkrai with the energy, and he does. So this is really important, just when he promotes things, what he promotes. And he's going to attach a Special Dark to that Darkrai, as well as Dark Patch. And he tries to Dark Patch to his active, but, again, you can't. And this is one of the reasons I really like Energy Switch in this deck, which, Energy Switch is generally thought of as a bad card. And even I thought it was one until I've seen it, used fairly well in things like ZPST occasionally, and this deck specifically. It's been really, really good. It kind of has the same effect as the Hydreigon that's done so well in Japan. But there's going to be a little confusion with this play, and he's going to try and Dark Patch again. And he tries to Dark Patch to Mewtwo now. So there's going to be, we're going to have to resolve the confusion here. What he should have done is attach the Special Dark and, or what he should have done is attach one of the Darks and, depending on if you wanted the Eviolite one active or not, promote 1 Darkrai and then attach the energy manually to whichever one you need it to. If you promote the one with no energy, attach to it, and then Dark Patch twice the other one, or the other way you could do it is just promote and then attach everything to the other one. Now he tries to lay down Dark Claw, and geez, I forgot how messy this game actually gets at this point. There's a little bit of confusion on the field. So he's got 2 tools on a Pokemon. He's Dark Patched to an active and his Mewtwo, which is a Psychic Pokemon, not a Dark Pokemon, so you can't Dark Patch to it. And he's just kind of messed up his whole game plan. He had the Night Spear based on the cards in his hand, and he could have even hit for 110 and then tried to, catcher and then knock out 2 Empoleons in 2 turns, which would have been, pretty cool. Had he attached the Special Dark and the Dark Claw to the same Pokemon. So the 1 energy gets moved, the Dark Claw gets pulled back, and we'll see if I catch the one with the Mewtwo. I might have actually missed that one in the actual game. Occasionally I do that, especially with PlayTCG.me. I'm not as serious at those point in times. But he's just going to promote a Sableye and Junk Arm again. And this is the really ugly play. He's going to Dark Patch to his Darkrai, and then that's rough. So he realizes it later, and it's just kind of like he's wasting resources for an extra energy attachment on a turn he's not attacking. A little harsh, but I'm going to Candy up and get a third Empoleon out. So I've got 3 Empoleons, 3 Smeargles. Kind of a crazy board, but also a nice board to have. And at this point, I need to take an odd number of prizes, so I'm just fine taking the Sableye prize. And now all I need to do is knock out an EX as well. The problem, however, is that while I have 6 Pokemon on the field, he only has 3, which means I'm hitting for 90. I can 2-shot an EX if it doesn't have an Eviolite attached to it. And as soon as he attaches a Dark Claw to that one Darkrai, I know that that Darkrai's got to be my target. It's not going to be able to have an Eviolite on it ever. And I don't think he's playing Super Scoop. I haven't seen any indication that he is. He's going to end me down here, which kind of hurts in that I'm going down to 2 cards and I already had the catcher in hand. But at the same time, I've got 3 Empoleons. I can diving draw and get 6 more cards. 7 if you include the card I draw at the beginning of my turn, and I'll probably hit a supporter in there. So I can still see a lot of cards, and that's really the appeal of Empoleon, is that it just doesn't really get hit by in at all if you're set up. And you know, if you haven't taken a lot of prizes, if you've taken a lot of prizes, you probably have Empoleons out, and if you haven't taken a lot of prizes, you won't really be hurt by in anyways. So he's gonna do 30 to a bench Smeargle and knock out my active Smeargle. However, I drew into a Virizion at the beginning of this turn, and I top deck the catcher. So this is going to be a really big kind of turn for me. I'm going to diving draw, and I hit an Oaks on the first diving draw, which is pretty fantastic. I'm going to catcher out the Darkrai, which is definitely the right play. And I'm not exactly sure on my Junk Arm and catcher counts, as we've seen with the other video I've posted with this deck. The one problem it does have is that it runs, lower counts on these 2 cards, just because, we're running a stage 2 in this format. But I hit the other catcher here, which is really, really big. It means that 1, I have it in my deck, and 2, it's not going to be that hard to hit. And I'm going to attack command, so that's going to be 90 damage. And I'm 1 shot away from knocking this guy out, and there's just a little more confusion. I have 6 Pokemon playing, he has 3, so that should be 90. I think he was thinking it's 80, but he's going to be able to retreat no problem if he wants to, which he should. He doesn't know I have the catcher in hand. He's going to attach that Darkrai and just bring it back, and now he's probably going to try and attack with this Eviolited Darkrai. It would be a 3-shot for me to knock out this one without the catcher, which definitely would give him this game for sure, especially if he had any catchers of his own right now. And he's just going to go for 90 to my active and the 30 to the Smeargle, but I'm going to draw for turn, play down the catcher out Darkrai, and I'll be able to attack command for 90 more damage, knocking out Darkrai EX and taking my last 2 prizes. So that'll be the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you rate, like, comment, subscribe, leave a rating. It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate it when you do it, and it makes me want to make more videos, which hopefully you all like, because that's why you're here. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace.